What's up, man? So here's the thing. If you want to improve, you really have to begin opening up the opportunities for yourself to do for yourself to do so. Now, for myself, in my early 20s, I was depriving myself of any of these opportunities, and I want to go over what I was doing that was depriving myself of these opportunities and some of the things that I had to do to allow myself to find opportunities, which then led to me being successful. And that way, maybe you can start thinking about where you're holding yourself back and what you can do to actually become more successful. So the first thing that I was really doing was staying home too much. I was in my early 20s. I was smoking weed, drinking, chewing tobacco, and the only time I really left was to go do those things. Or if my friends asked me to go to the bar with them or something like that. That quickly stopped. But I'm going to tell you where it was really holding me back. It was like a 6-month period where I was in my head thinking I wanted to start a company, but I wasn't taking the moves to do so. I was probably sitting on YouTube, just like you are, watching YouTube videos about how I could start a company without actually taking the moves to do so. When I went out to the bar with my friends, we weren't talking about business. We were talking about getting laid and partying and where we were going to the next bar, whose house we were going to afterwards. There was really nothing being accomplished. And really, every time I went to go think about starting my company, I felt like I was an imposter, like the imposter syndrome. It was basically because I wasn't giving myself the opportunity to realize that either everyone's an imposter or I'm not an imposter, one or the other. Because it was shortly after I began running my company that I realized most people are imposters, but not in a negative way. It's just that we're all learning. So yeah, I was pretty much going out, having all this fun and stuff. I was, fun, whatever fun was at 20 years old. And I wasn't in a group of people who were encouraging me to develop. So, I was doing all these unhealthy things. I was getting out of shape. I looked like crap. I felt like crap. And basically, one hangover led to me drinking more, so I didn't feel hungover. And I'm sure that's what a lot of people who watch this video have done. Now, it was after about 6 months of living that lifestyle that I realized, okay, I'm sitting home when I'm not out partying. And when I'm sitting home, I'm doing nothing but unhealthy things. So I decided, I'm going to join a gym, and I joined a CrossFit gym. Now, the thing was, I just wanted to start getting myself healthy. But also in the back of my head, I knew I wanted to start a company. And I knew hanging around with the people that I was hanging around with wasn't going to help that at all. So I also cut off the people that I was getting drunk with or getting high with. And I began going to the gym at least once, sometimes twice a day, in order to fill the time. Because when you give up things like that, you really have to begin filling the time because your mind is so wired to want to go to those things that you're so used to doing. And then it came to the point where I had been working out for about 2 or 3 months, and I had developed a new group of people that I was socializing with at the gym who had most of the people at the gym I joined were business owners themselves. And they began talking to me about the company that I wanted to run. And then even farther than just talking to me about it and how I can do it, they began opening up the opportunities for me. They began telling me that I could do work for them, and I started to do it. I started to take on the work that other people wanted done, still feeling like an imposter because I hadn't done this formally the way I was going to be doing it. And eventually, after I had done about probably 5 to 10 jobs, I started to realize, okay, I have some competency in this. I know what I'm doing. More people began to trust me. The word of mouth started happening where, other people from the gym heard, I heard you did this job for somebody. Can you do this job for me? And it became, just from making this simple change from staying home or going out to the bar to making sure I left my house to get to a gym where other people are being productive, I was able to become more productive. And I really think that if you are somebody who is staying home a lot and pretty much, living in the cycle of whatever it is, video games, sleeping in, if you're doing any recreational activities that are holding you back, then you can really start thinking, okay, I have to fill that void if I want to be productive, if I want to get things done, and actually begin working towards the goals that you want to do. And then once that happens and you put yourself into an environment and a group of people who are already doing that, you're going to find ways to do that yourself. and you will lose all of the doubts that you have about yourself. Because the truth is, if you're sitting home doing all those things that aren't causing you a greater impact, creating a positive effect in your own life, you're never going to be able to find the opportunities that are going to allow you to develop this higher sense of self that is competent and confident in what they can do, and is actually making an impact in the way that you want to. Because you know just as well as I did then that sitting home thinking about it isn't enough to actually make the change that you want to see. So the best thing I would say is to get yourself into an environment of other highly motivated people who are going to encourage you and help you succeed. But when you get into those environments, make sure that you are being the best person that you can be, so that way you can build this trust among other highly motivated and determined people. I hope this helps, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Cognition Ignition.